This is Cousin Jack. This land is barren and broken, scarred like the face of the moon. Our tongue no longer spoken, the towns all around face ruin. Will there be work in New Brunswick, or will I find gold in the Cape? If I tunnel way down to Australia, how will I ever escape? Come on. Where there's a mine or a hole in the ground, that's where I'm headed for, that's where I'm bound. Look for me under the load or inside the vein. Where the copper and the clay and the arsenic and tin, running your blood to get under your skin. I'm leaving the county behind, and I'm not coming back. So follow me down, Cousin Jack. Soil was too poor to make it, granite and the sea left no choice. No visions of heavens to stay low, when John Wesley gave us a voice. Could Joseph once come to St. Michael's Mount, 2,000 years past in a dream, and you're working away in the darkness, deep in the heart of the sea. Where there's a mine, come on. Where there's a mine or a hole in the ground, that's where I'm headed for, that's where I'm bound. Look for me under the load or inside the vein. Where the copper, the clay, where the arsenic and tin, running your blood to get under your skin. I'm leaving the county behind, and I'm not coming back. So follow me down, Cousin Jack. Follow me to Canada, America, South Africa, Australia. Where there's a mine or a hole in the ground, I'm leaving the county. Must I leave my town? Camel, Red Roof, Lawson, Wadebridge, past Port Isaac. Remember us, remember our names, remember the white cross on the black flag. Yeah. And the waves crash to the shoreline. I dream, I dream. I dream of a bridge across the Tamar. It opens us up to the east. In my dreams, I see the English living in our houses. I see the Spanish fishing in our sand. Where there's a mine or a hole in the ground, that's where I'm headed for, that's where I'm bound. Look for me under the load or inside the vein. Where the copper and the clay, where the arsenic and tin run in your blood, they get under your skin. I'm leaving the county behind, and I'm not coming back. So follow me down, cousin Jack. Come on, follow me down, cousin Jack. Yeah, follow me down.
Good morning, Minecraft. Wandering Beekeeper here. How you doing? It is Saturday morning. I am actually live for the first time in weeks. Had a couple of words with the ISP. Don't know. They have not fixed the big problem, but I'm sitting here, knock wood, and I'm knocking on solid cherry here. My drop frame count is 0 through the theme song, so we will see where we go from here. Where we are going is Immersive Geology. This is the new beta, and let me get that number up in front of me. That is 0.7.1 beta 1627. Just updated. As of the 20th, as of yesterday. So, should be just a couple of bug fixes. The big stuff happened in the 1.7.0. Which is why there is a new world. Now, I have retained the mods from my previous Immersive Geology world. All I've really done is create a new instance, is copy that instance, and then update the Immersive Geology mod itself to the new beta. Kept the old version so that I can keep the old world and still have it work and not have the machines, like, crash the world on load. There have been some changes to how some of the multi-blocks are formed and some other things. There's some architectural stuff going on with immersive engineering. And if you have any of the old style multi-blocks formed, when you load the world, it'll crash back out. So, I'm keeping a copy. I've archived my previous world, started a new one, got through the grindy stuff, and let me quickly comment on the mods, because I did open that topic and I should talk about it. We are doing beta testing and regression testing and all that. Not formally, I've done it for a living, but I'm not, keeping a crossref sheet here. Relax. The only thing that makes changes to the environment and to world generation is repurposed structures. I've talked enough about that on previous streams. One of my standards. I've got storage. I've got Tom's simple storage, backed with iron chests. I've got sophisticated backpacks, which gives me transport and also gives me collection when I'm doing mining with the power drill. That becomes a necessity. The magnet in the backpack is really amazingly useful. Tree harvester and fast leaf decay and leaf cull and the usual quality of life stuff. The big deal is the Immersive Geology, which, you know, shouldn't we be looking at this point? I mean, let's get... Oh, hello. There's one of those guys. The problem with building a house with the door open to all is that sometimes stuff just kind of wanders in or out. Goodbye, llama. All right. Grindy stuff, the grindy stuff, the grindy stuff. Oh, my lord, let's talk about the grindy stuff because we're dealing with the end result here. A workshop for handsome adventurers in this. Haven't actually had a use for the fancy workbench, though, because I got Tom's. Grindy stuff, the alloy kiln. Currently making Constantan, which is an alloy of copper and nickel is the choke point. A lot of tech mods have choke points in the progression. Usually a particular thing, a material, advanced material or something that you have to process and make. Grig Tech. I've been playing through Grig Tech, and I'm currently kind of at a burnout stall point trying to go from HV to EV because I got to deal with the clean room again. Got to get EV power into the clean room in order to make the next advancement, and that's a big pain in the ass. Bigger pain in the ass, though, is stainless steel. Because to get from MV, medium voltage, to HV, high voltage, in Grig Tech, you need stainless steel, which is a high voltage recipe, and you have it's the casing material for all the high voltage stuff. And I spent days babysitting an electric blast furnace with the best steam boiler I could build. I hadn't gotten to diesel yet. I was working on it. But, coal-powered steam boiler, a large steam boiler, feeding multiple turbines into a battery buffer. Then I had to wait until the battery buffer was full. Then I could run a batch of stainless steel. And then I had to go find something else to do for a bit while the battery buffer refilled. Over and over and over to get enough stainless steel to finally build a combustion generator array, go to high voltage, and kick the EBF up into continuous production. In immersive engineering and immersive geology, in immersive geology, because that's where it happens. It's nickel. You have to have nickel plate in order to make the MV accumulator. You have to have nickel plate. The rest of the materials here are easy to get. Treated wood planks. I got creosote I've got 2 tanks of creosote. Lord. Cutting down lumber, not a problem. Iron plate, iron's easy enough. You cook down hematite. Steel, you send the iron back through the blast furnace. Redstone acid, easy. Crafted from redstone and water. Then there is nickel. Nickel is made from millerite. Let's just go here. The source here, and this deep slate nickel ore does not exist. Raw nickel does not exist. These are immersive engineering ores and metals. They are suppressed in favor of the Immersive Geology millerite. Gotta remember, nickel, the immersive engineering nickel is not there. You have to get at your nickel the immersive geology way, which means you must be able to pelletize your nickel oxide, which means you have to have a pelletizer. To get a from that, you got to have binding agent, which means you have to have a mixer, and nickel oxide. Where do you get your nickel oxide? You get it, well, you can get it from a couple of different places. You have magnetite powder. You can separate it out in a gravity separator. Getting magnetite powder requires a ball mill. Oh, Lordy. Okay, so you have all this heavy machinery. Let's go upstairs and look at the heavy machinery. Yeah, I did not set up out front this time. All I've got out front is the bonker, running on an LV accumulator with a set of water wheels. Because why bother? It's just the bonker. It doesn't have to be able to run huge batches. The industrial hemp, this field yields fantastic amounts when harvested. Yeah. The crude bloomery. The big machinery is upstairs. Let's go upstairs and look. I am in a mansion, yes, you know me by now if you've been watching my streams. Oh, this beauty. This is a gravity separator with the steampunk skin. This one is my fault. Being one of the beta testers and such, I was asked, what aesthetic would I like to introduce? And of course I said steampunk. I mean, really, give me dark wood and brass. And lo and behold, you build your gravity separator. I keep wanting to call it an ore washer because it's what it does. It's the function. And then you apply, here we go. You apply the gravity separator mod kit. You take out this huge paintbrush and you slap it with steampunk paint. And it turns this. Sweet, ain't it? So getting this stuff put together was relatively easy. I mean, making the iron and steel for the crusher and the gravity separator and getting a crude blast furnace, that's all basic stuff. The ball mill. Once you have millerite or magnetite, and I used millerite, once you have millerite, here we go. First, you have to do the whole thing of crushing and washing in the gravity separator to get your millerite, your crushed millerite ore. Usual thing. That's easy enough. It can be done under LV and it can be done under MV without accumulators, but it's painful. So what I had to do without accumulators was run enough millerite through the crusher into millerite grit that I could then set up a ball mill. I had to go set up the ball mill next to the windmills up on the roof and run a batch of millerite grit through it run small batches of millerite grit through it and babysit it for a while. Get it to millerite powder. The millerite powder, then I had to tear down the ball mill, set up a mixer, make binding agent, then set up a pelletizer, and run the millerite grit through the pelletizer. Can't run the mixer and the pelletizer at the same time because you don't have accumulators. Finally get the pellets, which can then be fed through the blast furnace, and again, can't have anything else running while the blast furnace is cooking because there's no accumulators, and so the distribution network is kind of shit. Got enough nickel. Got my first batch of nickel, made nickel plates, made MV accumulators, fixed my power systems, and got to busy on getting things set back up. So, the ball mill got set back up in here. We've seen the industrial ball mill before in previous streams. Its design really hasn't changed much. I think there's been a little touch-up on the model, but it still works the same way. Now, this is all running on MV right now. It will probably... I'm hoping to rewire for HV, possibly this stream. We'll see what happens, because I got stuff happening. So this crusher is up there for recrushing, for doing grit and so forth, and it feeds directly into the TOMS network. Using the TOMS here, the way I use AE2 over in GregTech, is the central clearing and piping and so forth. Mixer, making binding agent, feeding into the pelletizer. There will be more pelletizers. I'm going to tear out a bunch of wall and stuff and put more pelletizers. Yeah, ignore the beacon. Yes, I creatived in the beacon, the beacon, in order to get the TOMS, to try and make the TOMS wireless work, and it still doesn't work right. I've never been able to get TOMS wireless to work right. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. This is going to be expanded into a distributor so that I can have 4 pelletizers, no waiting. You've seen that before. This is the new pelletizer design. There is no hopper. Stuff to be pelletized is dropped directly into the pan and then has a kind of interesting rolling animation. Reminds me of the old Centipede game. So yeah, and of course pump for the mixer over here. I've gotten this far. Got through a lot of grindy stuff getting the nickel made, and let's go look up at the rooftop wind farm, because this is a bit of a thing. Oh yeah, the refinery is up here. You've seen a refinery before. This one is working on industrial hemp seed and on potatoes and the last of some sugar cane. Grew a lot of sugar cane to get it jump started. Plant oil, ethanol, refinery, going to biodiesel. Don't have a generator yet. Gonna have to tear out this wall to do it. Not a big problem. Out here, the wind farm. Oi. Yeah, running the ball mill and the pelletizer and then tearing it down and moving it, it's a very big deal. I mean, it can be done, but getting that first accumulator changes how power distribution works. And it makes things so much easier. I've now got some store and forward capacity. Not a lot, but I've got some store and forward capacity, and I don't have my machinery running out of juice every 5 seconds. Because the windmills, they're not meant to keep up with an industrial ball mill. It's meant to be run by a diesel generator. To make a diesel generator, you need Constantan. And let's just pop down and go over here to the alloy kiln, which has finished, and I now have 2 stacks of Constantan ingots. Okay, let's see. I was working toward radiator blocks. They require 4 Constantan plates. And I have to make, and that makes 4 of them, and I'm going to need 9 of them, so I'm going to need 3 batches, which means 12 plates. So I don't actually have to plate the entire run, just 1 stack. Let's go plate the Constantan. Check to make sure the plate is in the metal press, and feed it the Constantan. Now this was running off of that little LV accumulator back there, and you can see it sapping it pretty fast. It's going to slurp that down pretty quick. Oh bugger, my heat is about to pop me right off the air. Oh lordy, I'm overheating bad. Ooh, I replaced my pad with a new one last week. Come on, let's bring that heat down. Let's bring that down. Where's my canned air? Oh shit. Well, one technical problem solved. Got 191 drop frames so far. I'm trying blowing out some of this heat. See if I can do something about it. Don't look like it. I'm cooking here. I have hopes, but we'll see what happens. Something about where I'm sitting, maybe. I've got it set. Not getting the air circulation it wants. Alright. We'll see how far we get. Really watching this very closely and very nervously. I don't seem to be able to bring it down. Alright, we'll go on. If it's overheating streaming, I have to worry about whether it's going to also do so trying to record. I may need to rethink my desk layout here. Okay, what am I missing? I'm missing the steel sheet metal. Oh, bother. No, I don't want to do it that way. No, clear the grid. Steel sheet metal. I want to do it this way, but I don't have steel sheet. Why don't I have steel sheet? Steel... Alright. Gonna take steel out to the bunker. Should have already had this. I must have used it in something else. That was my accumulator. Accumulator's not up to running yet. Let's give it a minute. Ooh. Meantime, come on. Sure how this looks. Excuse me. This is how it went doing that first batch of nickel. Waiting for the machines to charge up. so that I could run them until their internal buffer exhausted and then waiting again. Ooh. So yeah, we'll see how things go here. Come on, baby. Pardon the noise. I'm trying to use canned air to cool, to blow some of the heat off. Oh, alright, we're good. We're ready to do this, at least. Let's do this. Get that started. And bash out some steel plate. The conveyor belt doesn't, for immersive engineering, does not need an andesite funnel equivalent. It's kind of nice. It'll just roll right into whatever inventory you put in the way. The regular conveyor belt will go on and insert for you. You don't have to have a special part. Saves a bit of crafting. No. On the other hand, you don't get the strip curtain flapping as each item rolls in, so there's a little bit of animation lost. Meh. I'm having enough trouble keeping up with all the animation as it is. Lord of mercy. How we doing? We've had a few more drop frames. Not bad, but we'll see if I make it to the hour-and-a-half mark. Trying to make it 2 hours would be amazing. Okay, that's done, and that leaves us with... Wow, got down to like single digits in the accumulator there. That's kind of intense. Alrighty, onward, onward, onward. Onward, ever onward. Steel plate. Can we finally make radiator block? No, we have to make steel sheet metal. Remember? There's steel sheet metal made. Now, what am I missing? I'm missing water buckets. Because the water buckets aren't auto-loading. Alright, 1, 2, 3 batches. And that gets us the parts. Let us go to book. Start the procedure with the manual in your hand. We have radiator block. I only need 9, so I'm going to split off 3 and tuck them into there. We need 4 generator blocks. Oh boy. Alright, iron mechanical component is easy. Electrum coil block. MV wire coil. Gonna make a stack. Yes. Stack, stack, make a stack. 2, 3, 4. Bada bing. 4 generator blocks. Made. 13 heavy engineering. I don't have any already made over here, do I? No, I was keeping parts for stuff in those chests earlier. That's where the ball mill lived when it wasn't on the roof. Let's see. Heavy engineering block. One. Uh-oh. First, I can make 4. Let's see, where I don't have. I got 3 more. And that puts me short by 5. I gotta make at least 2 batches. Honk. Alright, what am I short on? I am short on steel plate. And I'm short on steel ingot at the moment. I got a lot of iron ingot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's grab 4 stacks of iron here. Got plenty of iron. I've been processing hematite like like you do in these mods. We have to go see the blast furnace. Let's go see the blast furnace. How's the blast furnace doing? It ain't doing nothing. Let's make it do. Let's make it do something here. Get that thing going. There we go. Plenty of coke already in it. And we will convert this iron into steel. I did not have enough steel made. Shame on me. Alrighty, that's going to be going for a little while. Oh, and yes, I do have vertical conveyors set to send stuff up to the machines. It amused me to put the... First off, I wanted to put the crusher up above the gravity separator so that I could roll directly out of the one into the other. So I put this even with the input on the gravity washer, on the gravity separator. We go up this. Yeah, we can see there's a single extracting conveyor belt, and it feeds directly in. So the raw ore getting in, the dirty crush goes flying right into the gravity separator. It's got its own dedicated pump, which means that I'm getting maximum throughput possible. So yeah, don't worry too much about it backing up on the ore supply. Anything needing to be recrushed goes into this chest and goes up to that crusher. I mean, once I have the one crusher up there, why not put a second one? Put it over the ball mill in order to save space. One of the things that I do with these builds is figure out how to work stuff into the available structure, and this is how it's worked in. I've got a very compact arrangement here. Rather pleased with how I've managed to shoehorn things in. Oh, speaking of shoehorning things in, down here, here's the coke ovens. roaring away and producing creosote. Creosote oil in industrial quantities. Got to get plastic production going at some point. Obsidian chests from the iron chests mod so that my storage does not run low. Yeah, I created in the storage system because I don't want to have to think about storage. I've got other things to worry about. Okay, like the fact that I should have steel showing up in the inventory here. Got 23 right now, and don't know how. Well, that's 24. That's going to be good enough. Let's just call it a number and move on. Let's go plate this steel. LV accumulator is back up to 100. Doesn't take long because it doesn't hold much. Okay, we are 42 minutes in and dropped frames. Oh, just kicked. Just kicked hard. Up to 628. We just had a nasty little spasm there. Oh, keep an eye on it. This may be a short stream for one reason or another. We'll see how it goes. Helps if you remember to take the steel plate with you. Some days. I would say I'd forget in my head if it wasn't bolted on, but everybody knows my screws have been loose for years. We are trying to make... Okay, gotta make steel mechanical component. Make steel mechanical component, and I can then make heavy block. I still need more heavy block, so I gotta make more steel mechanical component. 1, 2, 3, 4. And more heavy block, and now I have 15. And I need 13. So we split off 2. So as not to cause confusion by having blocks left over. That's always a bad thing. Okay, I need 1 redstone. And we look at the manual and see I need 6 steel scaffolding and 5 fluid pipe. Of course I don't have 1, 2, 3 steel scaffolding. 6 steel scaffolding made. Fluid pipe, don't have enough. Fluid pipe, we make a batch of 8. I need 5. We put 3 back. Kick that. Always clear the grid. Toms can cause lag if you don't clear the grid. Okay. So there's the parts to build the diesel generator. Now we got to look at wiring. No point in being able to put it in if I can't wire it up. So let's start with some HV stuff. HV accumulator, what am I missing? I'm missing aluminium and hop graphite. I can't make HV accumulators yet. Hop graphite is going to require the arc furnace. I think aluminium also requires it. HV wire coil requires aluminium wire. Where am I getting my aluminium? Plate, aluminium ingot. Aluminium ingot requires the damn arc furnace. Oh, lordy. I'm going to have to try to run the arc furnace at MV in order to do this. Oh, bugger. I'm going to have to connect this up. I've done this before. I'm going to have to, I've forgotten. I'm going to have to set the diesel generator up, build the arc furnace right in front of it, direct connect it, run it off MV, make aluminium. Then I can do the, oh boy. Aluminium is our next choke point. There we go. Got another choke point here. Got to go through this whole rigmarole. Right. Been a little while since I did my last run on this. Forgot about it. Okie doke. So we're going to be looking at building an arc furnace. What's it going to take? Heavy machinery, arc furnace. No, I want to do that so I can see each layer. All right, let's start accumulating the stuff for it. Let's see. 8 steel sheet metal. Hoo-ha. Yeah, about that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I gotta go put more iron in the blast furnace. Coke supply is okay. Oops. Aluminium. Aluminium. Let us look at aluminium. Because aluminium is going to be very necessary. And yeah, we're going to be looking at coke dust cryolite powder, which is a reactant and we don't use it up usually. We usually get it back. And alumina powder. Alumina powder comes from crushed alumina ore. Alumina ore. What's our... Just have to find alumina. I mean... Gotta find the ore. Alright. Let's see. We got bauxite. Okay. Bauxite. You don't get ore profiles on this one. I keep forgetting. Not like Greg Tech. Well, I see granite and bauxite, so bauxite does occur. Do I have any bauxite bookmarked? No, I don't. I have a variety of stuff. I don't have bauxite. Okay, I've gotten ahead of myself. I gotta go look for materials. That's gonna require this. Okay. Now, I'm going to do this the quick way. I'm going to go creative. And we'll put this sea lantern here. Now, locate mineral alumina and out to 32, which is farthest it'll go. This is going to take a minute. That's okay. I'm stuck anyway, waiting on 8 stacks of iron to go through the blast furnace. I do not have nearly enough steel to start building the arc furnace, to start making the components for it. So we're going to sit here and wait a minute while the still working. No alumina ore vein found within 32 chunk radius. Bogus. Locate mineral bauxite 32. Do. Bauxite vein only 566 blocks away. Alright, I should be able to walk that. Let's see, 11008, 13, 5, 11008, 13, 536. 11008, 13, 536 is going to be this direction. 13, 536. 1100. Here a bit. Going to be somewhere in this area, I'm thinking. Wait a second, and traces of bauxite. Okay, now, fastest way I've found, most efficient way I've found is to go creative. You know, I'm here to, whoops, found nothing, found nothing, found nothing, found nothing, found nothing. Yeah, this is why you don't dig where, there we go, where it first sends you. Bauxite. Try to stay on this line. Come on. Bauxite. 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 Up. So what I'm doing is just basically building a big crosshair. Doing a sighting in on it. Ooh, this goes on a ways. Oops. There we are. Okay, so here. Okay, and you can see I've done this in a couple of other places in the area. So I'm going to fly back to about halfway here and down and just go straight out. Oops. This way. Now, of course, this can be done without creative mode. It's just easier if I can fly and not have to worry about how many sea lantern blocks I'm using No, nothing. There. How's my dropped frame rate going? Not bad. It's tolerable. Let's see. And then just zip the other way. And of course, it's going to go out into the water, isn't it? Ooh. If I go straight across, found nothing. It's going to be out here somewhere. Good news being I'm in creative, so I can do this without worrying about breathing and shit. Okay. Now we pop back this way. Ooh. To about halfway between these two. And dig here. Presto. Yep. Oh, and we got water. Damn it. Okay, I need to turn on. There we go. Turn on the magnet in the backpack. Rid of that tree there. Okay. Nice to be able to see what I'm doing here. I am, as usual, playing this in peaceful mode. I've got other things to do besides fend off hordes of angry hostile mobs. Okay, let's fire up the drill. This is a sweet little item. One of the first things I did when I got the refinery put together was build one of these because now I could fuel it. Bonus, I get coal. Okay, let's see. What we got here? Okay. We've got an interference layer here. Look at all this bare stone here. Directly under it. There we go. We're still seeing interference layers. Now look at all this bauxite underneath the area we were just in. Alright, let's go 1, 2, 3. There we go, and uh-oh. Some cobblestone out of the backpack, and we will take care of this. There. Flip that off. Water. The miner's ancient enemy. Nerds. Bugger off. You water, bugger off. It doesn't work. Dang it. Stop that. Okay. Yeah, you want to hit it on the ore, because if you hit stone, it takes only the stone. If you hit ore, it takes everything. Nope, more water this way. Bugger off. Okay, let's see. I'm about loaded up enough here to demonstrate things anyway. Why do I always have to look that up? Let's see. Let's do a thing here real quick. Find a spot. Find a spot. Not a good spot for a teleport location here. Going to take just a second. Okie doke. Let's see, where were we? Game screen, I think. Here we are. Let's, I was trying, I need to create a, waypoint here. This looks like a good one here. And edit. Bauxite. Confirm. Put it down here so it's in alphabetical order and teleport. Back to the front door. Okay, let's put away the drill for right now. It needs to be refueled. But the big thing is to get up here. And if I had the song queued up, I'd start it up. But you know the one that jazz piece that is used to represent industry. Let's see, rich bauxite. Turn the magnet off. Who knows what I'm picking up here? There we go. Turn the magnet off. Then we can go have a look at this. Bauxite ore goes in the top. Dirty crush comes out here, goes into the gravity washer, gravity separator, or the thing goes into the end of the thing, into the sluicy thing. Damn it! I go back and forth between so many tech mods, I get the terms confused sometimes. Okay. We have our animation of the Dirty Crush sluicing down. And of course it's going off into a chest here and being drained into the Tom's network. And there we go. Have our lovely vertical conveyor belt taking the ore up to be processed. Go check on our blast furnace. Okay, we'll get started on this. Get started toward making the alumina powder that we are going to need, or the bauxite or whatever. We'll figure it out. So once I have this, it gets done that way, and then gets done that way, and it goes to the chemical reactor. The hell? Oh, god damn it. I gotta find alumina. I have got to go find actual alumina in order to get aluminium. I can't do it from bauxite here. Damn it. Look at the recipe. Always look at the recipe. Bugger all. Yeah. Sodium hydroxide, and we get cloudy bauxite sodium salt, which then gets centrifuged to get aluminium compound dust and cloudy bauxite waste complex. And then we can process it through the chemical reactor with cryolite and hydrofluoric acid. Or we can put it in a rotary kiln and turn it into aluminium. This is getting to be way too much with the bauxite. We gotta, okay. If you want alumina powder, you need alumina ore. You cannot make it from bauxite. Okay. Been a few weeks since I've been in this mod, and I've been working in Greg Tech. Oh, lordy. Getting the two confused. Got to sort this out. Alright, I need alumina. I have to find alumina before I can continue. So, got a kind of a stopping point there. What we're getting here right now is crushed bauxite ore dropping in. I've got all this crushed ore here waiting to be processed. You know, it's coming along. I've gotten ahead of myself multiple times here. This was meant to be a test stream. Nothing going on in there. Stop and think a second. Quit running around. What can I do? I can make steel. I am making steel. I can make steel, which requires coke, which means I should go check on the coke ovens and see how they're doing. I have 4 blocks of coke there. I have 4 here, and I have 4 here. I can take those blocks of coke, break them down into stack and a half, almost 3/4. Take that coke up here, get it loaded in for steel production, because we're gonna need it. Okay. Crusher has finished with the bauxite, at least. You know, we got to see that in action. Don't get to see the pelletizer in action here. I don't think I've got any nickel oxide I didn't pelletize already. Yeah, I've got some millerite grit here. Millerite grit goes in the ball mill. Let's load the millerite grit into the ball mill and then fire up the ball mill and let it run for a minute. It is a nice animation. That's a fair amount of moving parts there. And we'll run the ball mill for a minute and see about getting some millerite powder made. I'd forgotten I had still had some millerite in here. Good thing I looked in here. All right. So, the millerite gets turned into powder. We'll wait for it to roll. Now, we didn't look at the garden cloches, but you've seen them before. I have cloches running 1 row producing potatoes and 1 row producing industrial hemp for the seed. And then the seed and potatoes are being fed into the fermenter and squeezer, as you saw earlier at the refinery. Fuel source is pretty much dealt with. I mean, that's easy. Garden cloches are easy enough to achieve. Okay, got 1 stack. 1 stack is enough to show let's turn that off so I'm not running down power with 2 heavy machines. And let's watch the pelletizer at work, because this is kind of fun. Throw that in there, and yeah. It gets kind of centipede, doesn't it? And as the powder is tumbled with binding agent and turns into pellets. And you see the pellets at the front end, and then they'll disappear as they are unloaded. But yeah, that's an interesting little animation there. And it produces pelletized millerite. Millerite pellet was suitable for going into the blast furnace and becoming nickel ingot. So much easier that now that I've got the accumulators, I just have to get to HV, which means I have to go prospecting and find alumina, and that may take a little while. Prospecting, even using the locate and the creative mode crosshairs, still takes a while. But then it's meant to, you know. Finding these ceramic oxides in the field should not be that incredibly easy. This is not vanilla Minecraft. This is immersive geology, and the word immersive is there. Okay, it's the last of the pellets unloading. There we go. We've seen the pelletizer in action. This is the new pelletizer with the no longer says placeholder. Now says IG back here. So yeah, got the IG logo on things properly. All right, so finding alumina or something like it. Problem being that biome isn't necessarily an indicator here. Things just generate where they happen to generate. You know, there are certain plants that grow above specific mineral deposits. Maybe we could start thinking about that. There's a particular plant in South Africa that grows above kimberlite pipes. The utility should be immediately obvious. So you've got people learning a little botany in order to find their minerals. Let's see. I need to get well away from the house. Let's go to this village. Yeah, you too. This village has a machinist who will buy coal coke and sell us the crafting components blueprint. I haven't bumped him up yet because I would need an awful lot more coal coke to be able to afford to sell it to him. I'm using all the coal coke I'm producing right now. I don't have extra. So, came out here to do a thing. Came out here to do this thing. So let's do this thing. The locate will not find all the minerals. There are some minerals that you have to just find on your own. It is also, it gives you the general area. You then have to do some prospecting with the pick. give it a minute to run. It is searching 32 chunks for alumina. May take it a minute. I've got to wind down a little bit. I've got the perpetual this morning, and I need to slow down. I keep getting ahead of myself. And I have to remember, this is not a fast mod. This is a mod that requires patience. Oh dear, it's right there. That seems a little hazardous, having that right by your village, right by the footpath. On the other hand, it'd make a great trash dump because you can throw anything in there and it just incinerates. There's no byproducts. You don't have to worry about releasing harmful gases into the environment by burning your trash. You can just, you huck it in the lava and it's just gone. Minecraft is so much simpler, yes. Uh-oh. Got a spasm here. Just saw the light go red on the stream there for a second. We've had some dropped frames here. On the other hand, doesn't seem to be doing too terrible bad. Getting worse though as the morning draws on. It's getting about that time. Tell you what, I'm gonna let it finish this particular run, and then I'm gonna wrap up here because my network congestion is rising in the area. I can see the frame drop count starting to go up. Okay, no alumina ore found yet. Let's go back home and we'll start from there, searching for alumina. And hopefully next time I'll have a little more to show you. But we got through a few things here. Got to see the pelletizer in action. Got to see the cool steampunk gravity separator. Got to see it in action. Got to go use the power drill. You know, got to swing a big power drill around. That's always fun. I can see from the control console that the frame drop rate is getting really horrible. All right, that's it. We are out of here. It has been fun. It has been real. It's even been real fun. And if you go to that Twitch URL, that YouTube URL down at the bottom, you'll find my previous Twitch VODs. There's 61 previous streams of Minecraft Trains and Tech, plus a bunch of other stuff. I'm hoping to get back into streaming regularly in the near future. I'm moving in about a month, and I am really hoping to have better service where